Get Me Thinking 3.1 Transfers Involving Constant Difference. Now, this is similar to what we have learned the previous lesson about constant total. So let's go straight into the concept. I have two people here. This is Megan and this is her good friend Tom. Now, Megan has 100 sweets at first and Tom has 70 sweets at first. So can you tell me what's the difference between the two of them? Yes, their difference is 30 sweets. Now let's say if I give the both of them the same number of sweets, to be fair, okay, I'm going to give Megan and Tom 10 sweets each. What do you think you will notice? Okay, so now Megan has 110 sweets and Tom would have 80 sweets. So what's the difference now? 110 sweets and 80 sweets. The difference is still 30 sweets. So basically the main concept of constant difference is that when I give the same number of an item to two people in a question, the difference will remain the same. So let's go straight to the first question. Stanley and Leon had some pencils in the ratio 1:3. So it will look like that. After Stanley and Leon gave away 12 pencils each, the ratio of the number of pencils Stanley had to the number of pencils Leon had became 1:5, which looks like this. Okay? And once I have the ratio for at first and the ratio for in the end, I am able to find the difference between Stanley and Leon at first was 2 units. And the difference between Leon and Stanley in the end is 4 units. But according to this question, both of them gave away the same number of pencils. So by right, their difference should remain constant. So in order to find a constant difference, because now they are different, one is 2 units and the other is 4, we need to find the LCM of 2 and 4. And again, if you have forgotten what is LCM, it stands for lowest common multiple. So the lowest common multiple of 2 and 4 is 8. So what that means is that we are trying to make both the differences become 8. So what must we do to these 2 units to make it 8? You're right, we will multiply it by 4 to get 8, which means that I will also multiply the rest of this ratio by 4. Understand? And from here, I will get 4:12. So this is my new ratio. So Stanley has 4 units at first, Leon has 12 units at first, and the difference is 8 units. Now let's look at in the end. The difference is 4 units. So in order to make it the same 8 units over here, I will need to multiply it by 2. And I will get my 8 units. And I do the same thing. I multiply the rest of the ratio in the end here by 2. And I will get 2:10. So this means that everything here in black are my new ratios. And you can see that my difference between Stanley and Leon are now 8. And that's the constant difference. Okay, so from here you can see that Stanley had 4 units at first, and in the end he had 2 units only, which means that he gave away 2 units, right? So according to the question, Stanley gave away 12 pencils. So that means these 2 units that he gave away represents 12. You can find 1 unit, and eventually you want to find the number of pencils they have all together at first. So you will look at the first ratio here in red because it represents the number of pencils they have at first. So 4 units for Stanley and 12 units for Leon. That gives me 16 units all together. So that's the answer. Pretty simple, right? So if you still can't get the idea of constant difference, just replay the video one more time. If you can get it, try question 1B on your own. Now let's move on to another question which is really similar. Question 2A. There were some cups in the cupboard. 3/5 of them were paper cups and the rest were plastic cups. Now, when I say 3/5 of them were paper cups, it means that 3 units are paper cups and the total is 5 units. So if the total is 5 units and paper cups are 3, 5 minus 3, 2 units represents the plastic cups. So that's how I got this ratio. Paper cups 3, plastic cups 2 units. And then after buying 20 plastic cups and 20 paper cups, the ratio became 7:5. Okay, so from here, you can find that the difference between the paper and plastic cups at first is 1 unit, and the difference between the paper and plastic cups in the end is 2 units. So again, this question, the key is buying 20 plastic cups and 20 paper cups. I'm buying the same number of cups for plastic and paper. So by right, my difference must be the same. So what is the LCM of 1 and 2? It is simply 2. Alright, some of you get very confused when the number is very small. You always get very confused. Basically, you just list down the multiples of 1, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you list down the multiples of 2, which is 2, 4, 6, 8. And you realize that the common multiple is 2. So if this is already 2 units over here, the difference is already 2, do you think we still need to change it? No. So all we need to do is to change this difference 1 unit. I'm going to change it to 2. So I will multiply by 2 and I will get 2 units. So now my difference is constant. So since I have multiplied 2 to the difference, I will also have to multiply 2 to the rest of the ratio. And I will get 6:4. Okay, which means I'm going to compare 6:4, and then in the end it became 7:5. So from here, I can see that the number of paper cups actually increased by 1 unit, and the number of plastic cups actually increased by 1 unit also. And that makes sense because I bought 20 plastic cups and 20 paper cups, so they should increase by the same number of units. Okay, if that just sounded very confusing to you, never mind. Okay, let's focus on part 1's question. How many plastic cups were there at first? So let's look at the plastic cups. It's 4 units and it increased to become 5 units. So there's an increase of 1 unit, right? Okay, so look at the question. I bought 20 plastic cups, which means the 1 unit that I bought represents 20 plastic cups. So if I were to find the number of plastic cups at first, that would be 4 units over here. So 4 units would be 20 times 4. And to find the number of paper cups at first would be finding 4 units. So, 6 units. So 6 units would be 20 times 6, 120. And that comes to the end of the tutorial. Good luck with the rest of the questions.